Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Easily the most competitive category in Warzone 2 when it comes to what is super consistent, super reliable to use is the rifle category. It seems like almost every single rifle has a place in this, overall meta conversation outside of the M16. And today I wanted to break down the top 5 best rifles in the game and the best setups for them, starting first at number 5 with the Kastov 74U. Now, I won't lie, admittedly, I was kind of torn as to whether or not I wanted to include the Kastov 74U in the top 5 rifles video or the top 5 SMGs video, which is coming soon, so stay tuned for that, because realistically, you're not using the 74U as you would the rest of the rifles on this list, 4, 3, 2, and 1, which is why I have it at 5 here. But for close range fights, it's easily the best rifle, and frankly, it's a better SMG than a lot of the SMGs are. But because it is classified as a rifle, figured I'd throw it into this video. This thing is insanely good through like the first 30 meters or so. So for sniper support as that close range rifle, this thing is about as good as it gets. Starting first here, I got the 45 round mag, just some nice extended mags there, nothing too fancy. I do use high velocity rounds on here to help out in some of those mid-range engagements. If I don't have my full loadout yet, with 2 primaries ideally, and I need to use this in mid-range, this will help make it a bit more consistent, and I tune for slightly better velocity and slightly better range there. I got the Echoless 80 suppressor. You're gonna see this on a ton of the weapons today here. This basically is going to end up helping you with velocity and range, also that smoothness, which is that muzzle smoke basically, and it'll keep you off the compass, of course. And I go ahead and tune this one for max ADS because you're not really hurting anything there, then also slightly better velocity. Got the 209 barrel, which is actually meant for mobility because we have better control and range with other stuff. You can actually get the best of both worlds here, which is real nice. So it's still nice and aggressive. And I tuned this actually for an even faster ADS speed and a much better steadiness as well. So it's still nice and easy to use. Then lastly, we go for the Olay laser, which is going to help out that ADS and that sprint to fire, making this thing nice and aggressive, but also super easy to use, aka it's gonna fry. Now at number 4, I've got the STB 556. This one also is one that I've been a bit torn on and where I want to place it because it's really good in mid-range. Up close, it's all right. It got a nerf with season 1, so we all thought it was gonna be way better than it was for close range in Warzone. It's still decent, but the Kastov 74U's got that covered, right? But for mid-range, for sniper support, this I think is one of the go-to options for sure, just because it is so reliable, so easy to use. We talked about this one recently in our lowest recoil video as well. It is just an absolute beam, decent damage, and in turn it's going to have a really strong TTK. So here I go for the Slamline Pro. You could basically go for any like close range or mid-range optic you wanted to. The Schlager would also work here, which is a fan favorite and my personal favorite in the game. Loadout would work here, Slamline would work here, anything you're comfortable with. You just want to make sure you're tuning this for the furthest eye position. 7 milliwatt lasers doing the same thing as the Olay laser with that faster ADS and that faster sprint to fire. We got Echoless on there yet again for that better ADS, then slightly better velocity on that tune. I don't feel like you need a barrel here. It's going to slow you down a little bit too much. At least with no barrel here, you're a little bit more, aggressive for some potential close to mid-range fights, but mid-range in general is where we're trying to build this, and no barrel is needed with how easy this thing is to use and how good the base range is as well for mid-range. High velocity rounds on there, tuned for the max range, and then a slightly better velocity on there. The more you do velocity here, you notice your control starts to dip in a little bit. You could certainly go for max here if you wanted to. Just pay attention to how much your recoil is taking a hit there if you're adjusting things elsewhere. Then we also go for the 42 round mag on there. You need that extended mag in this case. That fire rate is a little bit faster, so that's a nice little safety net, if you will. Now for number 3, I've got old reliable itself, the M4A1, or just the M4 here. This thing is about as standard as it gets. Like, it checks every single box just as much as it needs to be a competitive weapon, so it's got just enough good range, just enough good control, just enough good mobility to be well-rounded in basically every single category. It's not ridiculously broken or the #1 strongest rifle per se, but it's just good enough in every way you need it to be that it is very well balanced and very competitive. So here we're going for the Schlager 3.4 times, the go-to optic in my opinion, again tuned for the furthest eye position. 45 round mag on here, just your basic extended mag. Pineapple under barrel is going to help out with the recoil steadiness here, which is all general control, meaning this thing's going to be very easy to shoot, so you can consistently land shots on target. I tuned this one for the max hip walk speed, so if you're not sprinting, you're strafing, whatever, you have the gun at your hip, it's going to be a little bit faster, and I tune it for a slightly faster ADS as well. Echoless 80 on there yet again, tuned for that slightly better smoothness, then also a little bit better velocity. That'll help out some with that recoil visually, and then with that like muzzle smoke and whatnot. You could also go the other direction for ADS. Just keep in mind that'll hurt your recoil a little bit more, so play around with that left slider as you want the weapon to feel. We also got the high tower barrel on here, which is incredible for range, velocity, and control. One of the best options in the game for that, actually. We got better damage range and a little bit better steadiness on here for that tune as well. So you cannot go wrong with the M4. Easily a top 5 SMG landing here at the number 3 spot. By the way, as we are breaking this all down today, if you guys are new to the channel, or if you're part of the 60% of viewers who are already watching but haven't subscribed yet, every day I got you covered with news, with updates, with loadouts like these, tips to help you guys improve at the game. Everything you need to know about MW2, Warzone 2, and DMZ is right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications as well. Also, if you guys enjoy this video, or if you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. Let's try and aim for 3,000 likes on this one. I really do appreciate all the support on all the videos since MW2 and Warzone 2 dropped. The channel has been growing at an insane rate, and you guys are showing a ton of support, so seriously, thank you so much for that. Now, at number 2, taking home the silver medal, we got the Kastov 7.62, the AK-47 essentially. It is heavy, but it's also heavy hitting. This is one of these slower rifles we have, but it also brings the best power and the best TTK over range as well. So you have that sort of trade-off going on there. I don't think this one's too difficult to use in terms of recoil. It's a little bit more bouncy than some other choices, but overall it's still relatively straightforward after you learn what the pattern is going to look like most of the time. So here, yet again, Schlager 3.4 times tuned for that furthest eye position. I go for the 40 round mag, the largest extended mag, in this case 30. Just doesn't always seem like it's good enough for duos, trios, and quads if you are consistently fighting at some like mid to long ranges where you might miss some more shots. So safety net on there yet again. High velocity rounds tuned for slightly better range and max velocity on there to not hurt the recoil too much. We got the Polar Fire S muzzle, which is basically the same as the Echo List, just a different name here. Better velocity, range, smoothness, or the muzzle smoke, and then also keeping us off the compass. And I go ahead, tune this one for that faster ADS yet again, and then max velocity won't hurt you too much here. Then I go for the 584 barrel, which is better control, velocity, range. Also hip fire accuracy, but that's not a thing we're trying to do with this gun, so it's a bonus pro that's completely useless. And then we got better steadiness on there, and then a little bit better range for this tune as well. So you're getting power over range like none other in the rifle category. And then lastly, at number 1, the best rifle in the game and my personal favorite weapon in the game, the TAC-56, the Scar. This thing is low recoil, really heavy hitting, not as strong as the 7.62, but still good enough to be a top TTK contender. It also has incredible range and velocity as well. So this thing, just like the M4, is checking all the right boxes, but it's doing a little bit more, right? Just because it's so reliable and so easy to use. So Schlager 3.4 times yet again. You guys are going to get very sick of hearing that in every single loadout video this year until they put in a better optic, right? Or they nerf this one into the ground. Infinity Ward, Raven, please no. Tune for the furthest eye position as always. 40 round mag on here, your basic extended mag, the extended mag that the Scar never got back in Warzone 1. It's here now though, and man does it feel good. High velocity rounds, max range, max velocity here is not going to hurt the control too much, so we can actually go all the way on those. Echoless 80, yet again tuned for that slightly faster ADS, and then max velocity again you can get away with here. Then finally I go for the Tundra Pro barrel. This will help out some with the range and velocity. We can tune this for slightly better range as well, and even more recoil steadiness. So this thing is nice and accurate, but also nice and strong at the same time, and that's why I got it at the number 1 spot. Seems to be agreed upon by a lot of the other top players as well. A lot of people are liking the TAC-56 right now. But that being said, that is going to wrap things up for this one. If you guys enjoyed, let me know by dropping a like on the video itself, would be seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, or if you have not already subscribed, every single day I got you covered with everything you need to know between Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, and DMZ. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.